Okay.
Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. It is now the 1st of October, so today I'm going to be talking about my September favourites, and there's quite a little bit to get through, including what is basically a Lush haul on account of all the beauty things I love this month. So I'm going to go straight into it. So the TV show that I cried tears of joy, real life actual tears of joy, that has returned to our screens is Strictly Come Dancing. So I'll put it up there and say one of the world's biggest Strictly fans. I absolutely adore it. I love the feeling of it when I watch it. It makes me feel so happy. It makes me think that Christmas is on the way. It's such a family friendly, beautiful show which just gets me feeling so happy. I've managed to convert my boyfriend, who is an actual addict now as well, and has just been watching videos on YouTube of Strictly previous years and things like that, so I've done well with that. And yeah, so I'm just absolutely loving it so far. There's only been 1 week where they've all done dances. I've got a feeling, I think Peter Andre will win it, and I'd be happy for him to win it because he's a little cutie. I also think Jay McGuinness from The Wanted, I think he's going to do quite well. Jamelia, I am in love with Tristan. My boyfriend won't mind me saying this because I say it all the time. Like, Tristan McManus is just like, I was going to say hubba hubba then, but I stopped myself. I love Tristan. And I think Jamelia, I think she's got potential. I think she thinks she's a bit better than she is, but I think she could go on, and I think I don't know, I want them to do well because I love Tristan so much. Who else do I think's good? I just think, do you know what, there's not really a bad one in the bunch this year. Like, I remember watching the group dance last year, the first ever group dance they did, thinking, oh my god, Scott Mills can't even point. And I feel like everyone was getting the steps and things, so I think it's going to be really, really high standard. Like, I can't see anyone that's like really shit and going to go like straight away. So Strictly is back and I am delighted about it. The next thing I want to talk about is the only film that I went to see. Oh, did I go see 2 films? No, I went to see 1 film. Me and David went to see Legend, which is the Tom Hardy Craze twin film, where Tom Hardy plays both Cray twins. This was really good. A couple of friends of ours had been to see it beforehand, so they told us that they enjoyed it, and I was sort of like thinking, oh, this is going to be brilliant. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really great. Like, I didn't know much of the background or anything like that, and it made me feel really interested in it. I actually went away and got on the old Wikipedia and had to look up and see what their lives were like. But Tom Hardy was amazing in it, and he is just so good to look at. Like, he's just so confident, but just like, he's just like a real man, isn't he? He's just like a really real man. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is my favourite book for the month. So I will put the link to my September wrap-up down below if you would like to see what books I read. But my favourite book was Back in Time for Dinner by Mary Gwynn. So this is a book accompaniment to the series of the same name, Back in Time for Dinner, following a family. Here is Mr. Robshaw, I think the names are. Following a family as they try and eat and shop and prepare food in the way of a particular decade. They start in the 50s and they work their way through up until the present day. So I love food and I love anything to do with food. So this was really, really great, and me and David loved the series. So when I realised there was a book accompaniment, I saw it in the library, I was like, brilliant, I'm going to enjoy that. So I read it, and it was just as accessible as the series. It was, I said in my book wrap-up, so I don't want to go too much into it, but it was a real like nostalgia trip for me as well, because I remembered things from the 80s, 90s and the 2000s. And I just thought it was really good, and if it's something you're interested in, then definitely give this a go. Or I'm really keeping an eye out on iPlayer and on for when this might be repeated, because it's not on iPlayer, and I would love to watch it again, especially now I've reread the book. So my favourite, I haven't really normally put a music section into this, but this links in with Strictly, and on the Strictly launch show, Jess Glynn was on there and she sung 2 of her songs, and I just couldn't get those 2 songs. I love Jess Glynn anyway, but I couldn't get those 2 songs out of my head from then, and I've really been listening to her album quite a lot on Apple Music, and I think she's really great. I love her voice and I love her songs, and they're all very upbeat and lovely. So her album, I think, is called I Cry When I Laugh. So yeah, as I said, I've been listening to that a lot, and I am looking forward to listening to it some more. The food that I've been eating a lot of this month, or enjoying, the past 2 months I've done tea. I don't think I've got any new tea this month, which is sad, but I am on a slight tea ban, because I will show you one day the inside of my tea cupboard and how there is no room for mugs and no room For tea, I'm on a mug ban as well. David said I'm not allowed to buy any more mugs until I exchange 2. I took one into work and he smashed another, so that means this weekend I'm going to buy myself a new mug in Anthropology in Bath, because that's where I'm going this weekend and I'm excited. But anyway, food. The things that I've been really getting into is these naked fruit and nut bites. So I picked these up I think I was like in a supermarket somewhere and I was really hungry, and I picked up these ones. These I've ate on the way to work this morning, a whole entire bag. That is not the point of them. So these are, and I mean, I hate it when people say, oh, they taste exactly like chocolate. They do not taste exactly like chocolate, but that being said, I enjoy these ones, the fruit and nut cocoa orange ones, more than chocolate. I love them, and I said to David, oh, you'll love this, try it. He did not enjoy it. So it's not a chocolate replacement. If you're looking for a healthy snack, I think they're vegan, they're wheat, dairy and gluten-free. If you're any of those people, then these are amazing. The chocolate ones are really good. These are the Cocoa Delight. They're one of your 5 a day, and this is the Cocoa Orange, which are my favourite. They also do a Berry Burst, which I'm not that into. I like the cocoa in them. They're amazing. I absolutely love them, but I will say, it says, so you get a 130 gram bag and you're supposed to have a 35 gram portion. But I ate a whole bag today on my way to work, which is like a half-hour drive. So don't do what I do and defeat the object by eating a whole bag. Try and portion yourself out. But yeah, absolutely lovely. Real nice, pleasant surprise to have something that's reasonably good for you and amazing. And you know what? I might have one now. Because I was looking at these and I was like, no, I better keep one open. So they look like this. Oh God, they smell so good. They don't taste like chocolate, but they're really good. Like, I'm not a big chocolate lover anyway. And this is nice for me. Excuse me. So I'm just going to talk about, this is a bit strange, I don't normally do this, but there's 2 events that happened in September that I just wanted to talk about. The first one is my cousin and her fiance, who will be husband and wife tomorrow. They own a little cafe on the Isle of Sheppey, and they kindly asked me to collaborate with them and do a supper club. So I work there, I help out there a lot anyway, waitressing and things like that, but they've asked me to sort of collaborate with them to do a supper club at Tom's on the second weekend of every month, and we're sort of theming it. And I mean, at the moment we're sort of going through cuisine, so this month was Italian, we've got Mexican coming up in October, then British, then Scandinavian in December, and then next year we've got a few, we've got that, I think we're going to do an Asian fusion Burns night, and then we're going to do a retro night, which I'm really excited about. But the first one was the Italian supper club, and we just had so much fun. I mean, I was up until like 11:30 on the Thursday making fresh pasta, 64 portions, over the weekend. And we just had such a great time. It was such a success, and the restaurant was sold out, like fully booked both nights, and everyone was so kind and said how good the food was, and I just absolutely love doing it. So I do a lot of the menu planning, and then like prepping the food. So we made the desserts and the pasta and things like that, and then on the night I'm front of house, just because I'm so messy, I just could not be trusted in a kitchen by myself. So that's why I've ended up in the front of house. Sorry, my the ceiling's really wobbling. So that's why I couldn't be trusted in the kitchen on the night. I just wouldn't trust myself. So then I do front of house, which is lovely, because then I get to see people really enjoying their food, and everyone really did seem to be enjoying their food, and there were so many empty plates, and I just had such a great time. And it's really, really nice and kind of Laura and Tom to let me join in and help, because like I love cooking, and just it's really big hobby and passion of mine. So to be able to sort of like bring it to other people is just an absolute treat. So love that in September. I'm really looking forward to Mexican night in October as well. The other event that I wanted to talk about is it was David's 30th birthday last weekend. So some of you who are friends with me in real life may have seen the video of David on Facebook of me telling him that he's going to Disneyland. So I bought him some, I'll actually try and I will try and insert this video here. I bought him some Disney vans, like the shoes vans with Mickey Mouse on them, and he opened them and he was like beside himself about opening those. absolutely so delighted, and I said, oh, there's actually something written on the lid, and on the lid I'd written, please wear these when we go to Disneyland on the October whatever to whatever. And he cried and I cried, and it was just so lovely, and he was so happy, and I was really, really convinced that he knew I was getting him a trip to Disneyland for his birthday. So I was really, really happy that he didn't actually realise that. So that was lovely. So the last part of my favourites video for September, and I realise this has been quite waffly and long, are the beauty products. So normally I would pick like 1 or 2 items, but this month David and I have been to Lush 3 times, and every time I've come out with something new, and every time that product has been absolutely amazing, and I've just absolutely loved it, and I just couldn't pick out of the 5 1 or 2 products. I have to show you all of them because I've just absolutely loved them. And I've got to say, like, their staff in there, although when you go in there they're a bit like, can I help you, can I help you, the last few times I've actually used them for their help, and they are so incredibly knowledgeable about their products and what will help, and they weren't just like fobbing me off to get them to buy something. What they said has happened actually has made my skin better or has improved things. So I will start with the bathy bits. So the first one I've got oh, such a tickle, is a rose bubble room. Now these are, it's like a macaroon bath melt. So this is half of it. I will insert a picture of a full one. I've already used half. So that's a really good thing about the bubble room, is that, oh my god, it smells amazing, is that you can split it in 2. And this is a rose one. So half of it is shaped like a rose, like this, glittery and beautiful and pink. And then it's got a bit of rose jam in between, which I've recently found out they make in a shower gel. So I'm going to be buying some of that this weekend. And it is attached to the other side. So I've used half of it already. And it smells like rose, and I love rose scented stuff, and I don't even care that it's a bit old lady because I absolutely love it, and it just smells so good, and it turns your bath so pink. David got in after me and was like, this is the girliest bath ever, and yeah, I absolutely love it, and I love rose, so that was just perfect for me, so I had to put that in there. The other one is the Experimenter. So this is a bath bomb, and this is beautiful. Look at this. Geometric City, and it smells so smoky, and I haven't got labels on these, so I don't actually know what's in them, but it is just absolutely, it's so like fresh, no, not fresh, it's like, it's really smoky, like almost like a bonfire or something, but really clean. And when it goes in the bath, I did a video of this on Instagram, but David tells me I can't insert the video here because it was an Instagram video, and it just fizzes everywhere, and it goes beautiful because it's all in sort of like set areas. It's sort of like the gold goes out that way, the white goes that way, then there's purple in the middle, and the whole house just smelled amazing after that. So I think that's a little bit pricier than your normal bath bomb because it is a bit bigger, but it is definitely worth those extra pence. So they're the 2 bathy bits. And then the last 2 things I've got are the last 3 things I've got, 2 of them are very new to me. So I've got combination skin, which means that I'm dry on these parts, greasy on these parts, oily on these parts, just normal on my forehead, and it just basically, it's a pain in the arse to look after because I never know which product to use because everything seems to be for something in particular, and combination products don't tend to work on me. So I went into Lush looking for a face mask, a fresh face mask, because I'd used them before and enjoyed them. And the girl in there, in the Canterbury branch, said, oh, have you ever tried one of our face and body cleansers? And I said, no. And she said, they work like a face mask and you can keep them for longer, because although I love the fresh face masks, you only get to keep them in the fridge for not very long, and I ended up throwing out quite a lot of it, and it was very, very sad. So I tried this, which is self-preserving. So this lasts until the 28th of November. I mean, that's full. This is half full. This lasts until the 28th of November. This is the first one I got. So she told me to get me this because it is for combination skin and it's got lavender in it. Now, again, I love me old lady scents, and I do love me a bit of lavender. So it looks like this. It smells like lavender, and you get a tiny, tiny little pea-sized amount, and you mix it with water, and it creates like a face wash. So you just scrub it all over your face. It's actually got bits of lavender in there as well, and then you wash it off instantly like a face mask. So I said, yes, I'd definitely be up for that. And she said, oh, did you fancy getting a moisturiser as well? So this was sort of like pricier than my normal everyday face washes I would use at about, I think it's about £7.50. So I was like, no, I'm not that bothered. Maybe if I'd like it, I'll get it another time. So she said, well, let me put a bit of this moisturiser in a little tub for you. So she put it in a tiny little tub, and I was like, well, that's not going to go very far. But I just literally put a little bit on my finger at the beginning and end of every day, and it went so far. And every time I put it on my face, I was like, howling with joy because it felt so nice and it smelled amazing. So the moisturiser I have then gone on to buy is Imperialis, which I thought was lavender, but I look on this list, this has not got any lavender in it, but it smells quite lavendery. It smells so clean and amazing. It also smells like something I had when I want to put it on my face now, but I will not allow myself to do it. It smells like something I used to wear when I was at uni, or what Dolores used to wear when I was at uni. It's gorgeous. So this is called Imperialis, and it's got Josephine, cocoa butter, tiger lily, and orange flower cream, and it is perfect. And I put it on before, and it hasn't brought me out in spots or anything, and it really does a nice base for makeup, and I feel lovely putting it on last thing at night. So those are an absolute dream to use together. Angels on Bare Skin, sorry, is the first one, and then Imperialis. And then when we went into Lush at the weekend, I was like, well, I really loved my face and body cleanser, let me have a look at the other ones, and I found this one, which is called Let the Good Times Roll. So really, I don't really need this because I've already got that half a pot of that left, but I smelt this and it smells like cakes in France. My parents have got a place in France, and when I go to visit them there, it smells like cakes. It smells like the cakes you can buy in France. It's popcorn, and it's the same sort of thing. So you get a tiny little pea-sized amount, mix it with water and put it on. So it is for oily skin, and she did warn me of that because she asked me if I was what skin type I had, and I said combination. But you can also use it as a body exfoliator, and it comes up really gritty. So I've been sort of like using it all over my neck and things like that. So the Lush have absolutely exceeded themselves this month. And I'm going to Bath tomorrow, and I know they've got a big Lush there, so I'm going to get all the stuff there. We're going to get more stuff, and I know that their Christmas stuff's launched this month as well, so I'm really excited about getting in with all the Christmas stuff. So those are my favourites for the month. Very long, very rambly. I hope you enjoyed it. What have been your favourites in September? What have you enjoyed? What products in Lush do you like? What do you think I would like? Just let me know. And if you like this video, then please like, and if you would like to subscribe, then please subscribe below. Thanks then!